How many of you have a fear of bugs? My guess it's not so much a fear of bugs, but more just an utter disdain for them. Right? You see them, whether it be a cockroach or a centipede or some other bug, and you think it's gross. You just don't like them. So when you see them, you might jump a little bit, but really it isn't so much a fear because you're a good 100 times bigger than it probably, and it really shouldn't bring a great deal of fear into your heart. At the same time, there certainly are those things in life that bring fear. Whether it's because it's something bigger and stronger than me, whether it's something like a thunderstorm where I don't really have control over what's going to happen, or something as tiny as a virus that I can't see with my own eyes and so brings fear into my heart because I'm not really sure where it is or if I get it, what it will do to me. There's plenty of things in life that can bring fear to our hearts and to our minds. How is it then that you and I deal with fear? I suppose one way is to try to have a stiff upper lip and feign courage, but that usually quickly goes away once I'm actually confronted with an actual danger, and that fear returns, sucking all of that courage out of my life, and I'm left fearful. I quickly realize that the answer to fear isn't found in me, but instead it's found in someone bigger, stronger than me. Hear the words of our God from the book of Isaiah. There God says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Someone saying, "Don't be afraid. Don't be distressed," only works if they're big enough and strong enough to take care of whatever it is that brings fear to our hearts. What a comfort then for you and I as children of God, to have our Almighty Father come to us and say, "Do not fear. I'm with you. Do not be dismayed. Do not be distressed, for I am your God." We have a God who promises to be with us, who won't ever leave us, a God who promises that He has the strength to deal with whatever comes up in our life, no matter how big or how small the threatening thing is. How do we know? Well, think of the result this coronavirus might bring to us or to a loved one. The worst case scenario, death. If really God is one who we can trust in, if God is really one who says He can deal with our fears, means He would have to be able to deal then with death. And we see that He does. Right in our gospel lesson this past week, we heard how Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, even though Lazarus had been dead for 4 days already. Right, and in 2 weeks we're going to celebrate Jesus' own victory over death, as He rises from the dead on Easter morning to proclaim His victory not only over death, but over sin and over the devil. We have a God who has complete control and power over everything, so that when He comes to you and I, and He says, "Do not be dismayed. Do not fear. I am with you. I am your God." We have a God who is powerful enough to handle any fear that might enter our hearts. We have a God who is able to handle anything that might bring fear into our hearts. A God who is strong. A God who is with us. A God who promises to strengthen and help us, who will uphold us with His righteous right hand. What a blessing for children of God in times of fear, in times of distress, in times of uncertainty, to know that we have a God who desires and follows through on comforting His people with His strength.